Susan Hall, she's the leader of the Conservative group at the London Assembly and a former mayoral candidate for the capital city as well. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Julia.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry, again, I keep going very late because we talked so long in the first half of the hour and we end up running late. But let's talk about Oxford Street. I go to Oxford Street quite often these days because it's, you know, it's kind of on the way home. And it used to be this very glamorous street somewhere, you know, if you lived out of town, you'd be like, oh, going to go shopping in Oxford Street before Christmas. Massive, big, you know, world famous department stores, very glamorous. Now it is already just a sort of pale imitation of what it was. I mean, with a load of really sort of cheap, nasty stores selling sugary, you know, snacks. It's just vending machines and all that. It's no longer what it once was. Do you think the solution to that is, as Sadiq Khan, the London mayor, reckons, to pave over it and pedestrianise it?
No, I'm afraid I don't, Julia. And I certainly don't agree with Sadiq Khan taking it over. There was nothing wrong with the local council dealing with it. In actual fact, when the Conservatives were in, they had a plan. It was a fully funded plan. Everybody agreed from whether they were local residents or the businesses. And that's
what was the plan?
It was extensive. To go through it now, they had lots of different ideas. It was all ready. It was all ready to go. But he's come in and said he wants to take this over, which is unusual. He's
using some special powers, isn't he? But here's the thing: for years and years, it'd be really, really congested, and then the rules came in, not just the congestion charge, but also other rules to sort of make it really hard for people to drive along large parts of Oxford Street. Now, I mean, when I'm on there, there's barely any traffic, there's barely any buses, barely any taxis. It's virtually empty already anyway. But we're going to spend an absolute fortune of taxpayers' money, and yeah, guys, it is coming out of people's taxation nationwide, because ultimately councils are funded nationwide as well, to pedestrianise it. We're just going to make life a little bit nicer for some foreign tourists, are we? But is that going to make any difference?
Well, there's two issues there. Firstly, I've just come back from Oxford Street, and of course your black cabs are there all the time. They actually transport those with disabilities because they can put wheelchairs in and everything, and also buses. And it was quite busy with black cabs and buses today. They'd have to go. We don't know where they'd go. If they go to the local roads all around, they are gridlocked, Julia. As you know, London is gridlocked under this wretched mayor with a 20-mile-an-hour zone, cycle lanes, and God knows what else. The other aspect to your question is the funding. Of course, he's come out with this massive, I will take this over and I will pedestrianise it, because obviously he's looking for a legacy. But as you know, with the spending review, no money or virtually nothing came to London.
But so quite right. London's had more than its fair share for many decades.
Well, I dispute that, obviously.
Well, rubbish. Billions and billions and billions more have gone to transport projects in London, over and above. The North and the Midlands and the Southwest desperately crying out for the most basic transport links.
And to be fair, London makes billions and billions for the rest of the country.
Well, we're helped by the fact we've got great transport links.
But that aside, I don't know where he thinks he's going to get the money from. It's all very well announcing all of this, and something does need to be done, as you've been pointing out. But if you look at crime, if you look at a massive street like Oxford Street being pedestrianised, I can only imagine crime will get much, much worse there, because you haven't got moving traffic, you haven't got an ability to get emergency vehicles in there quickly. Local people are very unhappy about this because of the congestion all around and the...
But the main thing is, there's an awful lot of people who live in inner cities, whether it's London or elsewhere, and then go, oh, there's loads of traffic. Well, of course there is. You're in a big city. If you don't want lots of traffic, go and live in a nice little, you know, little quiet bit of Somerset. I mean, I never understood why people are shocked. And if you don't want to drive in because of the traffic, don't drive in. But if you do, you can do it. Seems to me, you talk about disabled people. Well, you have to be on good earnings to be able to afford a black cab these days in central London. But the key thing is, but lots of people do actually need to have transport links. If you've got kids, you've got heavy shopping, you don't want to walk from one end to the other. I know they're going to looking at only like pedestrianising one section of it, but it's a mile long. A lot of people wouldn't be able to manage that walk. So don't we need to have cars on it?
Well, you're making my point for me, because there are disabled, there are people with children. They do need to get access to the shops for the shops to be successful. And pedestrianising such a large area, I don't think is a good idea. But at the moment, the businesses are desperate for something to happen, and it just keeps being delayed and delayed. But the Mayor Khan, taking this over when he's made such a hash of everything else he goes near, I do not suggest is a good idea.
It doesn't bode well. Can I ask you, I've only got a tiny bit of time, just quick, the grooming gangs, we keep talking about, it's like some 50 towns and cities across the country where it's happening. I never hear London mentioned. Why is it not happening in London? Or is it happening in London and no one's talking about it?
Well, if it is happening, they're not talking about it, and Sadiq Khan refuses to discuss it and wonders what I mean when I actually ask him the question. So who knows?
So you have raised it with the mayor? Because I just find it unbelievable that it's happening in Telford and Oxford and in Manchester and Liverpool, but it's miraculously not happening in London. Just miraculously not.
Well, at a mayor's question time, I asked it. It's all over Twitter and Facebook at the moment. You'll be able to go and see. There's been nearly 1 million views on it. Yes, I've asked him, and he asked me exactly what I meant.
That tells you everything, doesn't it? It really does. Susan Hall, she's a leader of the Conservative group at the London Assembly, former mayoral candidate.